Alright, welcome to this video for TheEndStep.com. My name is Sky. I'm going to be co-playing with my friend Tim over here.
Hello, everybody.
We're playing Junk Aristocrats. This is round 1 of a daily. We're going to show you the deck after round 1. We didn't quite have time to get through a deck tech. So this hand is pretty sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4 with mana to cast. So
yeah, this hand is awesome.
We're on the draw, but our opponent mulled to 6. So we're going to snap this hand off and hopefully lay down the beats.
This hand is very good against red decks.
Ooh, I love turn 1 Cackler for this deck. That is exactly what I want to see on our opponent's mull to 4 on the play. Scoozles. I love Scoozles. Here it really doesn't matter what land we lead off with as long as it has a white production. This makes our Woodland Cemetery give us all our colors. So, I mean, it was true any which way we played the lands. That's the odd thing about this deck, is when you have 3 lands, you almost always have every land you need. But with Scavenging Ooze, multiple green sources is good, but I suspect we're not going to cast him on 2, but rather take 1 hit from the Cackler and then play Cartel Aristocrat to keep it protected. Or possibly just block and use the Spirit to keep protected. I think I like that line better. That way, when Scavenging Ooze does come online, it's going to be a little bit better. Plus, against the red deck, we really just need to preserve our life total. That's our only goal. Young Pyromancer. We've seen that a lot recently.
The red decks have really started to pick up Young Pyromancer. I don't particularly get it.
Well, Obzedat's a pretty good one here.
Obzedat's... The red deck... Once we get the ability to drop Obzedat, it usually means that the game's locked up, so...
Yeah, plus we have Lingering Souls in hand. We can even just cast Scavenging Ooze with the land intapped. He has not missed a land drop on his mull to 6. We'll see if he's got anything spicy. Chandra's Phoenix would be fine. Lingering Souls really puts a damper on that card. Scavenging Ooze also really puts a damper on that card. Cartel's probably one of our best cards in this matchup, given that Sack Pro Red is undoubtedly just a slam dunk in this matchup. Sadly, our opponent's playing a little slow. Here we go. He's going to shock our Cartel Aristocrat. So we're going to sack in response. Make him try and 2-for-1 us if he's got the second shock. Which would be less than ideal, but given that we have Lingering Souls in hand, not the worst. Also, if he doesn't have the second shock or a Searing Spear, this is really bad for him, because it means he has no attacks for the turn as well.
Yeah.
He's taking a long time, which is...
He's probably multi-queuing, which is fine.
That's true. Nope, so it turned out he had nothing, and he's just letting us resolve this ability. Basically meaning he's not going to have any attacks for the turn, and he used his shock to kill our Spirit token.
I mean, if he wanted to attack, that'd be really cool of him.
Well, now he played an Ash Zealot. He might ship with the Cackler Ash Zealot, but I don't think that's going to do exactly what he wants it to do.
Totally okay, bro.
Nope.
You snap locked that.
Figured out that was not the play for him. We definitely don't want this Ash Zealot on the field when we try and flashback Lingering Souls.
No sir, no sir, no sir.
Land was exactly what we wanted. I think we shock ourselves and play Scavenging Ooze. It allows us to gain back part of our life total, and it also puts it out of range of everything but Searing Spear here.
Yep.
And it can block every creature on board, which is something, though Lingering Souls is very good. With Ash Zealot on the field, we really don't want to be going all in on that, because we won't have the ability to flash back. Chandra's Phoenix is fine. That's not really much of a problem, given that we have Lingering Souls in hand. And a Scavenging Ooze, so when we trade off for his Chandra's Phoenix, we get to just eat his Phoenix right away and permanently get rid of it. He can really only attack with Phoenix. Oh, he's going all out. Or is he? This attack seems curious if he goes for the all-in attack.
I mean, if he goes all in, what's our plan? We
eat the Pyromancer and probably trade off with Zealot. We eat Zealot and trade off with Pyromancer.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's figured out that he wants to tackle everything but Pyromancer. So we 100% eat this Doom Traveler so that we can eat his Ash Zealot and Flashback Lingering Souls. And
I don't think we block anything else, do we?
I think we do, just because we want food for this. I mean, is 2 damage worth not when we...
I mean, because we're gonna have Lingering Souls next turn, so we're gonna
but
have...
But those are both just gonna go... Those are both just gonna go in front of the Phoenix, aren't they?
I mean, they might. He might not even attack.
That's true. I mean, we'd be taking 4 going to 13 versus taking 2 going to 15.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can afford to not get rid of that resource. Alright, so Ooze lives, Ash Zealot dies, everything we want it to be. And we drew an untapped land, which is perfect. Means we get to cast Lingering Souls and hold up mana to eat his Phoenix, which is pretty much the best possible scenario. It also means next turn we can play Demon while not shocking ourselves, and then go directly into Obsidian. Or shock Obsidian if necessary. Hellrider, that's unfortunate. Not the worst case scenario, to be honest. Given that we can double block Phoenix, eat Hellrider.
Yeah, if he just decides that he just wants to go rad and dirty, that just seems very... Like, we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5...
And then another 3. Yeah, he's just going for it. This seems like a terrible play, in my opinion. He's being too impatient. Because we just get to gain a life, go to 14, eat 5 damage off triggers. But now we get to pretty much trade off his board for our board, which is way better for us. We eat his Pyromancer, we eat his Hellrider, we trade with his Phoenix, we take 3 damage, we have a Lingering Souls in the bin that we get to flashback next turn, along with eating his Phoenix, so that he can't recur it on us.
Yep.
We also have Obsidian.
Like, this
we drew a
attack
Garrick.
Just seems bad. Like, this attack just makes absolutely no sense to me.
I agree. We drew a Garrick, which we're going to get to use as just one-on-one removal.
Yep.
We're tapping our 2 non-green lands to flashback souls, since there's more than 2 creatures in the yard. And we're just eating Chandra's Phoenix now. And then holding up the other green for 1 more activation on Ooze. We're still not attacking. I don't want to attack till Obsidian's landed, or Desecration Demon, something that really just finishes the game. Looks like he has another Hellrider. Because of his attack last turn, this Hellrider is a lot worse. We just get to snap fight it if he attacks.
Which I don't even think he's out of cards. Like,
we just eat another dude, untap, Garrick his Hellrider.
It is always so bad whenever your opponent just has to go.
That was a pretty good draw. The land was nice. It means we get to keep up an additional green source to eat his Hellrider in our cartel. Since we're definitely just killing this Hellrider right now to ensure there's no way he can come back from this situation.
Yep. Next turn, Obstat should literally just seal the deal.
Yep. And safe to attack with 1 spirit. Just start chipping away at him since we're going to be getting 2. It's actually safe to attack with both spirits. He can't. There's no card in his deck that can kill our Scavenging Ooze, and we're going to gain back 2 life. So even if he attacks with all his creatures and a top decked, well, Stormkirk Noble, but any other top deck creature, he would be losing damage on the attack.
Yep.
Eat your Hellrider.
Man.
Yeah, this game has proved exactly why Scavenging Ooze is insane against these red decks. We've gained 6 life, so we'd be at 4 otherwise. Obsidian comes down. Next turn we get to go Lingering Souls, Flashback, and then Gavany, and he should be dead that turn. Sorry, my Moto tapping for lands is always a little awkward.
Always off. It's always off.
It is.
Gosh.
It's always off. The beta is a little easier. Lets you tap all lands of the same type. There we go. That should be game. Should lock it up. Yep. Ob's Daddy generally gets the handshake from the mono red players. Alright, so our sideboard against mono red is pretty decent, I think. We basically just become heavy on removal. Things that come out 100%, Lifebane Zombie, Desecration Demon against the Young Pyromancer builds. Just too many tokens everywhere.
A lot of the red decks have, like, we've noticed this as we've been grinding, a lot of the red decks have really adopted Pyromancer, which seems odd to me. I think it's just more value, but it seems like they should just be trying to get you dead rather than trying to get more synergies into their deck.
Exactly. Sin Collector's not really good. He has burn spells, but none of them are super relevant against us. Barter's really good. Fiendslayer Paladin's
insane.
Golgari Charm is very good.
Especially against these Young Pyromancer builds, because when they're just literally flooding the board with X1s.
And you get to kill a Pyromancer as bonus.
Yeah, you don't care.
Yeah. Abrupt Decay comes in, 1 Putrefy for their Hell Riders. Abrupt Decay is just like almost as good as just blank removal for their decks. So that puts us to 63. Usually we take out the 4 Blood Artists. They can attack, they don't block well. They're pretty bad generally. That always leaves us with the decision of going for like the 1 of Duress or the Putrefy. The second Putrefy to try and kill those big creatures, the Duress to hit a burn spell. Which is the same problem as running the Sin Collector, I think. I think the Putrefy is just the better card for this situation. Yep. So that's about it.
Let's go to game 2.
Alright, so we're going to be on the draw again. Our opponent mauled 6 last game.
This hand is awesome.
Yeah, this hand, besides the fact that it's 3 shock lands and we're going to have to shock twice, is absolutely insane. We get Cartel. Well, actually, it's a very interesting situation because depending how fast he is, if he did, yeah, he has Stromkirk, which is a little annoying because our turn 2 can't block it. But oh, well, that was about the perfect draw.
Literally the perfect draw.
So we 100% take 2, pass, see what he does. But 90.
If he plays a Pyromancer, I don't even know how much that changes though.
Still getting it slipped. This way we take 2 again.
Yeah, basically the plan against these mono red decks is literally to just stall out the first few turns and make sure they run out of gas, which is why we turn into a much heavier removal deck. It might seem like not self-intuitive to cut the Blood Artists, because Blood Artist is just, you're playing against a red deck, you're just
trading off everywhere.
Yeah, especially with these grindy decks, but it's too slow. Like, as odd as that is, like, you just don't really want to be playing Blood Artist.
Alright, so this turn, because of the way he has sequenced his plays, he's on 2 cards. We're going to Golgari Charm him to kill 2 of his guys, take 2. We're going to play this Godless Shrine in tapped, and then we're going to Barter Blood him. To just basically go, you have no cards, untap, Lingering Souls Flashback, or play Fiendslayer Paladin. We could play Fiendslayer Paladin now, but it's very bad with Barter and Blood, especially given we get to 2 for 1 him here. Take 2 damage, go to 10 with him on 3 cards. And if he plays a land, so he's probably going to have a Hell Rider. Burning Earth, that is actually terrible for us.
No.
Which means,
cancel. We want to save that. Actually, float the mana
in response. Lets it resolve. This way we're not going to shock ourselves to kill this. We really can't beat that card.
No, that is...
So our plan kind of changes, but honestly it's not that bad for us. I'm guessing he kept his hand based on 1-drop, 2-drop Burning Earth.
So we take 5. We go to 7.
I think we untap Barter.
Yeah, that's as... Ugh, it feels bad. Do we untap Barter or do we Garrick fight?
I think we Garrick fight Ash Zealot and force him to send at least a point of damage towards Garrick. Barter keeps getting better the more creatures we can keep off the board, and unless the problem also is if Ash Zealot stays on the table, like if we barter him and he keeps Ash Zealot, our Lingering Souls gets much worse. Also, Fiendslayer Paladin is much worse again. Well, it happens. Fiendslayer Paladin's much worse
so
against
gross.
Ash Salad.
Yeah.
We're still only taking 4, going to 3. We probably don't have the ability to barter this turn. We might just have to Fiendslayer Paladin to stabilize. So Garrick's gonna die. We go to 3, and he has the spear on. So he just literally had enough to kill us on the play. I think if we're on the play here, I think we easily win that game. But
Yep.
that's what Mono Red does periodically. So now
Also, this deck sees a lot of play on Moto.
Yep, and now we know to bring in the Duresses. Some of the Mono Red decks don't actually run Earth. Well, actually, that's not true. They almost all do, but on Moto, you end up with different varying levels of money put into the deck. So you can't always assume they're going to have it.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put in 2 Duress, and I actually like taking out a Varels here instead of the Doom Traveler, just because Doom Traveler does double duty against like.
That's true, and Varels is usually pretty bad. Having to sack your creatures is pretty bad. Cartel Aristocrat usually just takes.
Alright, so we're gonna have to take a mulligan here.
It's very unfortunate. That hand had a lot of good stuff, but this one's very
This
good.
hand is pretty sweet. This hand is Scavenging Use, Voice for. Yeah, we're just on the 2-drop deck plan.
Yep, we're basically gonna match all of his 2-drops. Hopefully, he is deciding where he mulled the 6 with us, and we're definitely keeping this. Is a very good. He too snap kept his 6.
So it looks like we're gonna have a game.
Yes, going Voice into Cartel is very good against this deck, because if he goes turn 1 Stromkirk, he can never really get through Voice.
Unless he has Snap as the pillar.
Which even then, we can still play Ooze and trade if we really need to, but more realistically, we play Ooze and then wait for it to grow.
Mm-hmm. Does it resolve? The plot thickens.
The old mono red stall on resolution play. So 2 mana Ash Zealot. Almost Searing Spear. Still can't attack, which
I think we just traded that off.
Yeah, he's 2 for 1ing himself, which is exactly what we want from Voice, plus the fact that we get to now Scavenging Ooze and know that we have a Garrett coming.
We're in a very commanding position right here.
Yeah, because almost anything he casts, creature-wise, is just going to get Garricked here. He could also just have Pyromancer's fine. I really hope he tries to shock our guy.
That would be hilarious. No. Alright, so he's probably going to shock in response. So do we...
Interestingly, we can untap, attempt to get the +1/+1 counter, and then cast Cartel Aristocrat, which seems fine. Playing around shock here seems much better.
Much better than not playing around shock.
We have the ability to, and it doesn't actually send us back. It just means our shock land doesn't come into play untapped, which is even better for us. So we go for the Voice. He let it happen, as expected, because we just win that fight. Although we could have waited for the Temple, but now that we have the 3/3 Ooze...
I feel fine shipping here.
I do too. Even if he has the shock, we just let Cartel Aristocrat die here.
Yep. Alright.
Yeah. So he 2.5 for 1s. Had the shock, decided to use it in a less conventional way. Has an Ash Zealot and a 1-drop. Okay, that's fine. More than likely, we're just gonna fight the
Ash Zealot.
Yep. Since Cartel Aristocrat can always trade. Now we definitely want to fight the Ash Zealot to guarantee that next turn we can play in Flashback Lingering Souls. He's almost guaranteed to be able to kill Garrick this turn, but he has to risk his Pyromancer to do it. In which case, I'm pretty okay making that trade, just because it means he no longer has a creature generator. Well, now he has 2. Still be interesting to see if he ships, given that he now has 2 Pyromancers and is holding up the standard shock. But yeah, I'm pretty okay making this trade.
Yep.
Lingering Souls is just going to take over this game.
hang on. Yeah, make sure to leave a black.
Yes, the old tapping wrong on Moto syndrome. Only blowout here is Electrickery, which you would have to have sided in, and it'd be an interesting side in here. Pretty sure we're just on the trade-off with everything plan.
Yep.
The only way this punishes us is if he has Hellrider, but even then he would...
But if he has Hellrider, why bother ship?
Yeah, why not just attack with everything? Alright, so we're both... He has one card in hand that he hasn't used and has been in hand for a very long time. Now he's on the 2. Interesting.
We're... double block. I think we should... No.
We just single block. If he has the blowout, that's perfectly fine.
No?
This has been a very interesting turn of events. I think he just realizes he can't beat Lingering Souls here.
Whoa,
Cancel.
no. Do not do that. Definitely not that.
I love that those buttons are directly next to each other.
I'm very glad Moto prompts you, whether or not you want to concede.
Yep, so shipping with a spirit, even if he has a haste creature, the realistic reason that we wouldn't want to ship there is to double block a Hellrider, but even then, yeah, Burning Earth is fine here.
Yep.
We honestly have to draw something that's worth casting anyway. Slip, definitely worth casting, but not right now.
Snap, kill off his guy.
Yeah, like the thing about siding in Burning Earth from these decks is if you don't have it on turn 4...
Yeah, like now when we're both on top deck mode, yeah.
It gets bad for him more than us. Pyromancer is going to get tragic slipped. I'm perfectly fine taking 1 damage.
1 damage to kill a Pyromancer.
Yeah, 1 for 1-ing for 1 damage is more than acceptable for me to kill that card because it's one of his only ways back. I'm pretty okay going to 11 to cast Lingering Souls with flashback.
Yeah, Lingering Souls started winning us this game. Lingering Souls will finish out this game.
Yeah. Actually, I think we only cast the first half just to play around Electricity right now. Let's tap all our lands at once so we can get all these triggers onto the stack at once. There we go. The thing about Burning Earth, like I said, is it doesn't do what he wants it to do right now.
Especially now when we're just like, yeah, that's fine. We'll take 3 to make more dudes.
Exactly. The thing that really this shuts off is Gavany. That's actually the only thing it actively shuts off. But so this is 5 damage, puts him to 8. If we flashback Lingering Souls, I would rather
just play around it.
Yeah, exactly.
Make him have it.
It looks like he's sitting on lands and or just like random dirtles that don't matter here, like a shock or something. Yeah. So we just snapsack a spirit to up the damage.
This is during our second main phase?
This is during his second main phase.
Oh, sweet.
Abrupt Decay, absolutely will spend 2 life on that card every time.
And that's another thing,
especially in this situation, we're 100% fine just passing, because if he plays a creature, we flashback Souls, sack a dude, hit for 4. If he has Electricity, he has it. If he has Chandra's Phoenix, we just Abrupt Decay it if he doesn't attack. So we wait till end step and then just Abrupt Decay kill him. Like we said, this is the example of we can't beat Burning Earth on turn 4, which is why we had to burn our blowout on it. But on turn, a million when we're on top deck modes and we can, we were at what, 18 when he played it.
All right.
So that was game 1. Nothing really spectacular. Mono red happens a lot on Moto.
This deck also has a very good win percentage against mono red, unless you just mull to 5. But honestly, 2 dailies ago, I won with this deck off of a mull to 3 when he mulled to 5. But on the play mull to 3, you can still win. Yeah,
this deck was built to grind out hyper aggro decks and still be resilient to control decks. So here's the build we're running right now. Pretty basic. Everything is normal. We're missing the 4th voice. That's honestly just a cost issue, to be completely honest. It became the Sin Collector. The Lifebane Zombie we actually put in, and it's been amazing for us.
Yep. Sin Collector is actually just something that we're trying out. We were found that we've been just been getting flooded too much, so we cut a land, added Sin Collector.
Yep. The thing about the land base in this is we're running 23 lands, but even in that last game, if you noticed, we flooded to 8 lands. I believe it was 8, 7 or 8 lands, but we were able to draw enough spell density to just kill him, and that's what we always have to do. This deck is so synergistic that if you start just flooding, you're dead.
Quick notes about the sideboard. Appetites and Duresses are awesome. Usually when you bring in one, you bring in the other. Main targets are...
Curse of Death's Hold, which
Curse
is
of Death's
basically your auto-death.
You cannot beat that card unless you have
Golgari Charm in hand. Also, Thragtusks are nice to get. Thundermaws are really sweet to get, especially since you are so heavy on Lingering Souls.
Yeah.
And Sphinx's Revelation. Peeling a turn 1 Duress to hit their Revelation or even their Azorius Charm can sometimes just push you through for victory.
Yep.
Basically, we just have a package of removal and a little bit of versatility. Fiendslayer Paladin is basically just for the mono-red decks that they can't get through with anything but an Ash Salad. Lifebane has been insane in every matchup that plays green or white.
You just saw how good Barter and Blood should have been.
Had he not cast Burning Earth on 4, this pretty much locks us up the game because we kill his 2 dudes and then barter him out and then just start dropping big drops on him. But it's really good against Hexproof. It's really good against these really aggro decks. If we can stabilize enough, we don't care about sacrificing creatures. They do. And Blood Barons for the black-white mid-range matchup. It's really a test card. We're trying to figure out a card that might be better, but it's really
hasn't come up too much. But
overperformed where it should and underperformed where it should, so it's about what you'd expect. And
it's literally exactly what you would expect it to do.
Yep. So that was round 1, and a quick little deck tech at the end. Hope to see you in round 2.